A few weeks back I found myself in an Apple store, chatting to an Apple retail member who was demoing the Nimbus Wireless Gaming Controller, along with the latest generation Apple TV. I had a quick go in store and was impressed. Impressed enough to take another look. So that's exactly what I'm going to do today. Let's get started. The latest Apple TV is all about the App Store. Sure, you can stream Netflix and movies from iTunes or your other Apple devices, but for Apple, they want you using the App Store. Once there though, you'll find there's already a ton of apps available, and that's because most of them have been adapted straight from iOS to tvOS. The ones that make the most sense though are the games. With titles such as Manticore Rising, Rayman Adventures and the brilliant Asphalt 8, the Apple TV is beginning to pitch itself as a serious gaming console. The one problem with this though is the Siri Remote. It's great for swiping between apps and films and to ask Siri questions, but it's awkward and frustrating when it comes to gaming. In comes the Nimbus Controller from SteelSeries. SteelSeries has made controllers for iOS devices going all the way back to the iPhone 5, and it's continued that tradition through the latest Apple TV. The Nimbus Controller retails for just shy of $50, which isn't a lot considering SteelSeries sells gaming mice for up to $160. You charge the Nimbus through the Lightning port, the same way as the Siri Remote. But you will have to use the same cable that you got with your Apple TV, as it doesn't supply one in the box. But it does boast a 40+ hour battery, so you shouldn't need to charge it for a good while. The controller feels nice in the hand, and looks a fair bit like an Xbox One controller. I haven't got one to hand, so you'll have to make do with this PS4 controller for a size comparison. It also has a decent weight to it and feels sturdy enough to take a bit of a hit when venting your frustration. On the left hand side you'll find a D-pad, moving along 2 analog joysticks, as with most gaming controllers these days, a menu button in the centre, then 4 action buttons on the right hand side. Across the top it has 2 shoulder and 2 trigger buttons, along with the Bluetooth pairing button, the Lightning port and the hold switch. You connect it to the Apple TV by sliding the hold switch on top to the unlocked position. The LEDs on front will then fade on and off to let you know it's ready to be paired. Then head over to the Bluetooth settings on the Apple TV to find and connect the controller. Once connected, you're going to need some games, but not all iOS games are compatible with the Nimbus. To help you out though, SteelSeries has created a free iOS companion app to help you discover which games do work and also allows you to update the Nimbus controller wirelessly. But every now and then you will come across a game that doesn't seem to have been mapped to the controller brilliantly, using an action button to pause and so on. With the Apple TV, the controller makes complete sense, especially if Apple are planning to keep pushing the idea that this is the Swiss Army knife of a TV set and a pretty powerful gaming console. Playing games like Asphalt 8 is a lot easier with the Nimbus, and it's a great controller which isn't a surprise taking into account SteelSeries' long history with making gaming peripherals. Overall, if you want a controller for your Apple TV, or even iPad, go ahead and pick one of these up. The iOS store is lacking somewhat when it comes to compatible games, but the Apple TV store has a slew of awesome games. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. If you did, go ahead and hit that like button as it really helps us out. And if you haven't already, hit the subscribe button so you don't miss a single video. This is Steve with Cool Stuff Mac, and I'll catch you guys later.